so why are you dropping the charges? It's like, well, we just decided that we didn't want to pursue the civil case anymore. Right, but why? We just decided against moving forward at this time. Okay, but why? No reason. Does it have anything to do with the fact that her car was firebombed? No. It doesn't have anything to do with that. No. Your official answer is that her car being firebombed is unrelated to your decision to not move forward with your civil case. That's correct. It's unrelated. Okay. And then what about this right here? Bricks through her windows. Yeah, unrelated. So let me pose a question to you guys this morning. If you find out that a public figure is an actual gangster, like a real gangster, like not like oh man, that guy's a gangster, like a real gangster, what does that do for you? Does that make you like him more or less? Does it make him seem bigger to you, smaller? Like what does that do for you? And we could talk about it in the comments after I tell you this story. Because I think as of this moment, I am certainly willing to acknowledge that Conor is not pretending anymore. I don't even mean, not that he necessarily ever was, but we're going to go through this new story about this woman who apparently, alleged that Conor attacked her in Spain and she had to dive into the ocean to get away from him. That whole story. She's dropped the charges and she dropped the civil suit under circumstances that are similar to exactly what you would expect if you were a witness in a case against the mob, basically identical, car getting firebombed, things like that, things like that. We'll talk about a couple rappers that are also real gangsters. I'll give you guys other examples of things like this and we'll go from there because this is a crazy story. I saw this last night and I was like, wow, I wonder who's going to have the balls to put this on YouTube, and I'll tell you why I do. It's because I think Conor wants you to know. I'm sure that he does. I would imagine Conor wants you to know. Why would he not? Right? He's not going to face any repercussions. So if you're a person who's rolling, real gangster style, what's the point of being a gangster if nobody knows? You know what I mean? So just keep it in mind, right? Now, like every other video, we're going to go ahead and make a gentleman's agreement. I make content, and if you're going to watch it, please subscribe to the channel. I trust you guys. I trust you to do your part, and you guys always do. Thank you very much. So please subscribe to the channel if you're going to watch my content. And also, I want to thank Yo Kratom. They are the sponsor of this particular video because they're gangster. You want to be a gangster dog? You need to shop on Yo Kratom. I'm just kidding. But Yo Kratom is the best source for Kratom online or anywhere else. $60 kilograms if you take the powder. Capsules, 110. Absolutely unparalleled price, identical quality to what you get in the store. It is the only kind that I use because why would I pay 5 times as much? YoKratom.com, rock and roll. All right, so what are we talking about, right? So obviously this situation happened with Conor on his boat in Spain where there was a woman from Ireland, from his original hometown, from his original neighborhood that he ran to in Ibiza. Like people get all weird about Ibiza, whatever. Okay. There, right? Now, and he invited her onto the boat. She said everybody's having a really great time. And then all of a sudden at 6 a.m., Conor flashed just out of nowhere and spazzed out on her, was like, who do you think you are? Kicked her in the stomach and punched her and then loomed over her and said he was going to drown her. Okay. And so she somehow, someone grabbed him and she slithered off and threw herself into the ocean. So just to recap that story, just because I think it's really notable, let's just assume that it's true. Now, listen, there is no reason to think for 100% sure that story is true. Let me just make that perfectly clear. Okay. There are 2 ways to read it. It could be a lie. Bottom line, Conor is a target for lawsuits. That is a fact. He has an enormous amount of money. He flashes it around. He is a huge target for lawsuits. Now, if you guys saw last night, he put a video up of himself leaving the Ultimate Fighter house wasted. Super, super drunk. I don't know if it's still up. I don't know if I could get it. If I can, I'll put it in this video. But he was annihilated leaving Ultimate Fighter house. Chael did a video about it last night. He called it Drunk Conor, right? Now, why is that notable, right? As it relates to this story, why is it notable? It's notable for a very simple reason, which is that when people get that drunk, they do things they would never normally do, okay? The drunker you are, the more likely you are to do something that you would never do sober. whether that's violent, whether that's say something to a girl that you wouldn't say, whether it's like, say something nasty to a dude you wouldn't normally say, or if you're a kind of a, kind of guy, it's the happy version of you, I have buddies. I have buddies that are former special forces operators that are kind of like scary ass dudes. You get some drinks in them, they're the happiest person on earth. They're the most fun people to drink with in the world. Where you would be like, if you asked, I guarantee you, the specific person I'm talking about, if you met them in person and you were like, hey, what kind of drunk do you think that guy is? What do you not drunk, but like, what do you think he'd be like when he drinks? And you'd be like, geez, I don't know, that's scary. And I'd be like, exact opposite, man. He's the most fun guy to drink with in the world. He's the happiest dude in the world. So it just affects people differently, But bottom line is, when you hear stories about people who are doing things that don't really line up with what you've seen publicly, it's like, oh, how drunk were they? And then, dude, the book's out the window, man. They'll do. You have no idea what a person will do. I have two of my buddies actually, the nicest guys in the world. When they get drunk, you do not want to be near them. You just don't want to be anywhere near them. They're train wrecks, dude. Like they're dangerous. Like they're dangerous guys to be around if they're drunk enough. So when Conor keeps kind of having this thing where he's got all these stories coming back on him, and in every single story, alcohol is involved, it's like, all right, I mean, that's it. The reason why I think it's highly probable that they're true is because he clearly drinks a lot. And also, it's been implied that he might also do things that would keep him awake longer. Now, the reason why that's dangerous is because when you get super, super drunk, a lot of times the safety valve is, okay? That's my safety valve, right? Well, I don't really drink like that, Like I drink with Gabrielle, but I drink mild. I don't like being that drunk because I just don't like it, dude. I just don't like it. It's not, there's there's nothing about this story as it relates to me that has anything to do with self-control. I just don't like it. It's not, like, believe me, the things that I do like, I am not very under control of in many cases. So I just have to, practice complete and total abstinence. Booze, I just don't like that much. But when I did drink, I would just fall asleep, like unless I ingested something else that was going to keep me awake, I was asleep, man. It's as simple as that. So when you take something else, you're awake, dude. Like you're up, beep boop, beep boop, beep boop, beep boop. So, did Conor do this? Who knows, right? But the charges that were brought against him were exactly as stated. And now this woman has dropped the charges, okay? Charges are dropped. Civil suit dropped, right? And the missing part of this story also is that in Spain, when she threw herself into the ocean and then was rescued by, some like a rescue boat or whatever, she told them, I don't want to press charges. She told them the story. She's like, I don't want to press charges. I don't want to do anything. I just want to get, because she said she didn't have anything. Like she didn't have anything. She was just in a bikini and she was in a like, she's like, I don't want to cause trouble. She just wants to get home. She's in a foreign country. I completely understand that. So she gets home and then she files suit. Okay. So again, two ways to look at it. Either Conor, this keeps happening to Conor because when he's drunk, he's reckless and does crazy things that are leading into, legal problems. Or, he drinks a lot and he runs into a lot of people that see him as a target. Who knows? But bottom line is her then filing a civil suit back when she's in Ireland, if it's true, is understandable why she did that. Okay, well, now she dropped the charges and, her solicitor was just, that's, by the way, a solicitor, as I understand it, is an attorney in Europe. Her solicitor just basically said yeah, no, we're just dropping the charges. We're just going to fold this up. Like, yeah, this thing we were going after money, we're just going to go ahead and drop the charges. They're all, oh, okay. They're all like, is there any other relevant information? They're all, no, there's no other relevant information. They're all, really? No other relevant? No. Nothing else. They're like, so why are you dropping the charges? It's like, well, we just decided that we didn't want to pursue the civil case anymore. Right. But why? We just decided against moving forward at this time. Okay. But why? No reason. They're all, does it have anything to do with the fact that her car was firebombed? No. Doesn't have anything to do with that. No. Your official answer is that her car being firebombed is unrelated to your decision to not move forward with your civil case. That's correct. It's unrelated. Okay. And then what about this right here? Bricks through her windows. Yeah, unrelated. So 2 incidents of her property being vandalized in a very intimidating way. Her car being burned. It's a girl. She's a girl. She's a girl. Her car was burned. Yes. And bricks were thrown through her windows. Yes. Was there a message attached to the bricks? We're not going to comment on that. Okay. But you're dropping the charges. Yes, we are dropping the civil case. You're like, all right. So yeah, that. Okay. Her car got burned and bricks through the windows. And she dropped the civil case. So either it is I'm just going to be fair to both sides because I don't know who this person is. Okay. Just to play it fair, like a court of law. I have no idea who this person is. None. No, I couldn't pick her out of a lineup. I don't know her name. I have no idea who this person is. It's possible she's a grifter. Okay. And so when she filed the charges, it was a lie. And then when she realized she had no case, she had to come up with a reason why she was going to drop the charges. And maybe she burned her own car and maybe she threw bricks through her own windows. Possible. Or maybe Conor, who is the cartel per his own moniker, I am the cartel. And we know he has direct ties to one of the largest, most powerful cartels in the world. Okay. Maybe he had these guys do that, right? Maybe he had some really cheap muscle go burn her car and then send a brick through her window. And she's like, yeah, this is not worth it. Now, that is exactly how the mafia handles things. This is what I want to say about this, okay? Because all of those things happened. You could speculate all you want, right? Whether or not he did it, whatever. But I always find it fascinating how human beings organize in societies in the same ways always, right? Like there is always a group of people who behave this way. You go to China, you have the triads. You go to Ireland, you have the Irish mob. Go to Italy, you have the Italian mafia. You come to, the United States. There was always these groups that intimidate the local people. They ask for protection. They run gambling. They run prostitution. Like they just do the same things all the time. It's so fascinating to me because it's not like, we're talking like before the internet, like there's no like connective tissue. It's just like what humans do. There's always a group of humans that are doing this in these societies. It's really bizarre to me. That's totally beside the point. But I think it's fair to say that Conor's not pretending, dude. Conor's not pretending, right? And I think that sometimes when a celebrity, like a celebrity athlete or a celebrity actor or like rapper more is who I'm thinking of 50 Cent, just for the record. I'll talk about 50 Cent in a second. But like when someone like that does stuff like this, assuming that they do it, they're like, oh, what? So this guy got rich and famous and decided he wanted to be a gangster? It's like, what are you talking about? Well, I mean, now he's a gangster. He's got all this money. Why does he want to be a gangster? It doesn't make any sense. It's like, okay, so if you're talking about Chris Brown joining the Bloods, I agree that's nuts, right? I'm not going to pretend like I don't understand. Everybody wants to be dangerous, dude. Okay? Everyone wants to be dangerous. If you're a dude, you want to be feared and respected. That is just the way human nature is, okay? If you're telling me that's not true, then we're speaking a different language. So even a pop star, who gets introduced to a group of Bloods and he's like, man, if I could be a part of the Blood gang, then I'd, and then he's out these blood signing and stuff. And you're like, this is really weird, man. He's like a millionaire pop star. Why'd you join the Bloods, dude? What? I understand why he did, but still seems kind of weird. But in other cases, you're like, what makes you think he wasn't a gangster before? Like 50 Cent as an example, who we know for 100% sure was a stone gangster before he became famous. And then when you find out that his baby's mom had a dude living in their house, the house that he bought for her, and he was like, I don't want that guy there. And she was like, get out of my life, 50. You can't tell me what to do. And then 50 burned her house down with her, the dude, and his son in it. You go, damn, that dude's a gangster. It's like, yeah, that's exactly what he is. He never made any secret of that at all. 50 Cent made no secrets about exactly what he was, okay? And if you found that surprising, like if you've ever even entertained that 50 was not responsible for that house burning down with his baby's mom and everybody in it. Now, did he know his son was going to be in it? Who knows? But he burned that house down. Bet your goddamn life on that. And again, with Conor, it's like, yeah, they're like, well, why is he trying to be a gangster? You're like, what would have given you the idea that Conor wasn't a gangster before? He was just, he just didn't have money. because he was focused exclusively on fighting. He's like a plumber. Like what do you think a gangster looks like? What does a low-level gangster look like? Someone, hey, we need you to go do a collection. We need you to go do whatever. Like, do you think that they're like guys like that are just balling out of control? Of course not. Like the low-level muscle guys are like plumbers and like whatever, and then they do a little bit of work here and there. Conor's been connected to the Kinahan gang or whatever forever. I think I'm getting that right. The Kinahan gang. Forever. And so now he's got money and he's behaving like a gangster. I mean, I just there shouldn't be anything that's super surprising about this, right? And so going back to the original question, what does that do for you? What does that do for you? Conor's a real gangster. He had people burn an accuser's car, allegedly. I don't know if he did it for sure, but allegedly, there was an accuser. Her car got burned, firebombed, and then people threw bricks through her windows, and then she dropped the charges. What does that do for you? I'm seriously asking. I'm like, for real, seriously asking. What does that do for you when you look at him? Does it because I'm having trouble with it exactly. Like where I'm like, I can't really even put my finger on it. It's just more of like, yeah, I mean, it just doesn't surprise me is kind of where I'm at on that, But anyway, that's the story. And, that's what I got. Now I'm going to go to the doctor, to the orthopedist, and I'm going to have them do an MRI on this area. And we're going to see what kind of time off I'm dealing with. So hopefully it's not super long. I love you guys. Peace.